until it starts to ache. Time pass on these past tracks, what a waste, and I'ma let you in for a moment. They said he holded a rock, told it a block, go your prior to my town.
Yo, it's Wednesday night. Welcome to Spittin With Spitter. We are here. Before I get this interview started in the conversation, man. Before I get this conversation started, I'm going to shout out to the 2M1L Media group. Go to the YouTube page, 2M1L Media. Like, subscribe, share. Our shows we got Around the Turnbuckle on Saturdays and Sundays with the Big Al Boski and Professor Keith. We have Cypher Knowledge Sunday nights at 8 p.m. with Chrissy. We have Home Team Sports and Entertainment on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And we have Spittin With Spitter Wednesdays, 8 p.m. This is my second show today, man. The first one was a bonus, but this is the interview, man. This is the conversation I've been looking to have. My guy straight out of Philly. He's a fucking barbarian. I have a bunch of words I could shout you out with, Reef.
Appreciate it.
An amazing father, teacher, just an all-around man of integrity and character. My guy, salute to you for coming on. Many blessings. Reef the Lost Cauze. What's happening?
What's up, brother? That was an incredible intro, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate the love. And thanks for having me, man. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, man. All encompassing of the culture, I think we are, whether it's hip hop or not hip hop, whether it's MCing, DJing, graffiti, beatboxing, breakdancing. How old were you when you started MCing, rapping?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be one of them corny guys like, as long as I can remember, but really, I used to write rhymes when I was younger, and I used to, I was always writing. When I was 6, 7 years old, I was writing, little short stories and different things like that, to, kind of pass the time, or when I was on punishment, that was an assignment I had to read and write. My parents would put me in my room for the weekend, and I would have to write book reports and things like that. So writing was always a part of my life. And I think, just being a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, hip hop was everything. It was everywhere. So naturally, I just kind of, it came natural to do the rhyming thing. I was always a natural performer.
Right.
So those two things combined, man, they just really, it made it kind of just known at a very early age, like, yo, I'm good at this. I like doing this, and I really want to do it. What really set it off was me and a couple of my homies in the 4th or 5th grade. We got asked to do a rap live in the auditorium on Martin Luther King Day about Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And it went so well that like we ended up going to like another school to do it, and then like we like went and this was back when recording a demo cost like $500. We got our parents to pull all our money, and we went and recorded a little demo. I still got the joint somewhere. My man Lou got it. We was called the Color Tribe because it was a black kid, me, a Spanish kid, my boy Luis, and a white kid named Andy. And my man Mujahid, who's locked up right now. So yeah, it was us 4, and that just gave that was the bug, man. That shit bit me right on my neck, and I was like, all right, this is it. I'm in. I'm all in. So it's been a lifelong love and a lifelong harnessing of my craft. I've been doing this for so fucking long, man. Like it's just something that's just always been a part of me.
I love when I chop it up with my people and I hear the essence, right? The beginning story of how it all started. You know what I mean? Because we all have it, Was there anything else in the code? Did you beatbox at all? Did you DJ at all?
No, man, never beatbox, never DJ, never wanted to make beats. I'm not the best dancer in the world, so breakdancing was out. I did a little, little graph, but nothing, no end-to-end burners or nothing like flashy, just tagging my name on walls. But that wasn't really, that didn't get it for me either. It was the mic. It was always the beat, the rhyme, the cipher, the stage, the battling MCs and the lunchroom and the staircases and the project hallways and I mean, I just wanted to rhyme, man. You know what I mean? So I definitely had homies that DJ'd and beatboxed and thank God for them because those were the ones that would play the records that I could rhyme to, or they would make the beatbox that I could rhyme to. Everybody had their role, everybody had their thing, and for me, it was always the rhyme. It was the rhyme, man. Yeah.
Most definitely. Do you think, like, we're talking about, like, coming up and battling and
Hmm.
like when I was coming up, like, there wasn't too many kids my age that were rapping, so I would have to battle the older kids. So that
Right.
would always cause me some shit, like,
Hmm.
you weren't supposed to be younger and nicer than all the old heads. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Do you think that's something that's lacking in the culture today? The amount of dues that's being paid to pave the way on the way up. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that because it's real easy to record tracks and make them sound super clean in your bedroom without
Hmm.
actually going out there and having to put the footwork in. You know?
Yeah. I think that it's kind of like the emperor's new clothes. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you might get successful or whatever doing it that way without putting in the you know paying your dues, so to speak, or putting in grinding. But I think that often what happens with that is a lot of those guys you know they eventually fall off because they don't have there's a lot of dudes that's come and gone. It's very
Yeah,
few rappers that have had really long, successful careers just making music. Some of them venture into acting and TV and all that. But I'm talking about the artists that consistently in hip hop since they started have either gotten better or just continue to put out great music. And I think when you talk about a lot of these guys that we see, they'll have their 3, 4 year run where they're maybe in the forefront. But the guys who last long in this game, those are the guys that did put in the work and did hone the craft. Because I do believe that at the end of the day, no matter how many sales or whatever, it really does come down to the craft. How much you enjoy trying to make yourself better. How much respect you have for the art. So for
absolutely.
me, it's always just been about you know trying to better myself. So for those guys that don't put in the work, which I think that a lot of it's generational. A lot of kids don't need to leave their bedroom to be a part of this world. A lot of people don't need to, venture out into different communities to be a part of this
Right.
world now. Uh, the whole points that hip hop brought people together, the places that they brought people together, we're seeing those slowly dwindle and dwindle. So I believe that for a lot of kids, it's not their fault, but I do recommend for any young boys out there that you do, try your best to really respect the art and not just look at it as something that you're doing to be cool or make money, but really because you really love to write rhymes and really love to make hip hop music. It might sound like some corny old head shit, but for me, I just think that that'll give you longevity because you really love what you're doing. You're not just looking for the next hit. You're looking to write from your soul and your spirit.
Absolutely. You know, I talk to a bunch of younger, they're not necessarily young, but they're younger than me, cats that are up and coming, rapping, and a lot of
Hmm.
them ask me advice, and I tell them all the time, get out of your comfort zone, step out of
Hmm.
your arena, so to speak, and go mix and mingle with other rappers and see,
Right.
what I mean, become as diverse as possible. Don't stay
Excuse
closed
me.
minded in this. Bless you, brother.
Yeah.
You know, funny story, right? I had no idea. It's probably like 2004, 2005. I had no idea who Reef the Lost Cauze was, right?
Hmm.
And we're on our way to Atlantic City for our album release party. And all I'm hearing in the truck is how much of an animal you are on stage and all different types of bar stories.
Hmm.
Needless to say, Every time I've been around you at a live show, you did not disappoint.
Thank you, man.
Do you, what, as far as being a live performer, how much emphasis do you put on that? Because I could tell that you're very passionate about your live show.
Yeah, man. I think I honestly believe the live show is what separates the men from the boys.
Absolutely.
It can be. There's a lot of things that I don't think that I make the greatest music ever made. I don't think that my shit is so crazier than anybody else's. But what I do think is that when it comes to seeing me live, I think that's where I win over a lot of people. I
Hmm.
believe that the stage is number one, it's therapeutic for me. It's a workout, it's all types of different things. But I take that shit so serious because you never know who's watching.
Right.
You never know who's seeing you for the first time. You never know if the promoter who's booking that show that night is going to go on to be, a successful outside of where he's at now. And also, just I love to fucking. It goes back to what I was talking about, man. I love the craft. I love the art of it, and I'm blessed to have the most incredible partner in DJ Calif now, who was Viral the Virus's DJ and producer for pretty much his whole career. God rest his soul. And Todd and I linked up for the first time in like 2008. And I mean, I feel like my live show was already crazy then, but just having that committed DJ that really is about we rehearse, we make the set list. There's no like, oh, let's just get up there and see what happens. It's like, no, we want to put
Sure.
on a show, and
Absolutely.
I get inspired by other artists that I see live that that you can tell really care and put the effort and energy into the live show.
You
So
know,
we mhm.
and part of me sees that as lacking in the culture a little bit because it's very rare. Y'all two's chemistry is crazy on
Thank
stage.
you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And it's very rare to see the DJ get as much
Yeah.
hype and as much respect as
hmm
the MC. It's like back in the day. You know what I mean? You had
hmm Yeah. And that's
DJ
that's
Jazzy
important.
Jeff and the Fresh Prince type shit. You know what I mean?
hmm Yeah, and that's important for me, man, is that like, and I try my best to, let him know, let everybody I know that I work with that I'm greatly appreciative and if that we're gonna rock together. It's going to be a partnership. It's going to be about like, I'm not up there like I see a lot of dudes berate their DJ, yo, run it back and all this other type shit. Well, me and Todd, it's like he's one of my best friends. Caliph, he's one of my best friends. So we're up there having a good time and I know he's got my back and I want him to be he's a part of the show. He's not just there to press buttons and we're gonna have our banter and he's gonna get his cuts off and we're gonna rock that shit. And it's everybody's happier. I feel like when you let every other motherfucker shine and get their props too. It can't just be all about you. There's so much ego in this game that just kind of throws shit off, and I just we don't get down like that. We too old for that. You know what I mean?
And it's, man, listen, if y'all ain't seen Reef perform live, go out see Reef and DJ. What can you please tell the
Yeah,
audience
DJ.
Ty's name?
Yeah, DJ Caliph now, Kliph, Caliph now. But yeah, he's incredible. Shout out to Jersey where he's rapping, and that's my guy. Yeah, so
I'm glad you said it because I'd have fucking butchered his name.
no,
I
it's all
prom-
good, man. It's
I
all good. It's all
promise
good.
you I'd have butchered his name.
It's
Hey yo,
all good.
I got a comment coming in, and this is my brother, right? And he's the one that runs the Round the Turnbuckle podcast. But
Sure.
he keeps me in tune with what's going on in everyday life because the NBA draft is tonight, and he know I'm a real big NBA guy. So he wanted to
Yeah.
let me know that Anthony Edwards went number one. My brother, I salute you. Thank you for that.
Word. And Edwards. Okay.
Yeah. Back to the music. I know you've been in. I don't want to say you've been in several groups. I don't want to categorize you like that. But
hmm
talk about some of the different artists that you've worked with in that group setting, like the Army of Pharaohs. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
you've
man.
done a lot of stuff with the Snow Goons.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm a collaborative type motherfucker, man. Like I love doing my solo shit, but I also love, when these different crews and friends of mine want me to be a part of something. So, I was a part of Chief Comanche's Juju Mob. I was a part of Vinny Paz's Army of the Pharaohs, and I make sure to specify, it was Juju Mob, but it was Chief Comanche's Juju Mob. He started that. Army of
Right.
the Pharaohs, that was Vinny Paz's Army of the Pharaohs. Snow Goons, they are, a conglomerate overseas by themselves, but yet they always bring me on tour with them. We've done an album together. I'm always on all their records. They put out my music that isn't produced by them. They're just like my brothers. Man. So I've always been open minded and friendly and respectful. And I think those three things, on top of being, a fucking, rhyme animal, because I am that too.
Yo, let's
You
real
combine, you
fast.
combine.
Not to cut you off. He is a fucking barbarian, bro. Like, if y'all don't know, Reef gets super busy with that microphone.
Thank
And
you,
y'all
sir.
know I get busy, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
only I gotta put you in with the most esteem, because
Spitting with Spitter. You know what I
it's yo, when you
mean?
got off that stage soaking wet in Atlantic City, it's like you just got done doing a crazy workout. But like, here was the piece for me that made me come up to you: is you were the most humble, like, welcoming person to come off that stage.
Yeah,
And
man.
for somebody that, like, at that time, I wasn't really taking rap seriously. I really wasn't like it wasn't a priority in my life. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
to see you the way you did that was like, damn. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And
Thank
left
you,
me
bro.
feeling like, we got Kenneth Ferguson chiming in. He said the DJ set the atmosphere for the audience and for the performer to have a great set.
Absolutely.
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 Gotta respect the DJ. Yeah. And like, we started um we started getting kind of comfortable with this, just the CD or the well, I don't know the joint that you plug into what the hell is
Yeah.
that called?
The hard
Um
drive, little
Hard drive. Sorry, yeah,
yeah,
I'm a little blazed. It's
that's
nighttime. You know
fine.
what I mean? Um, we started getting a little too lax with the CDs and the aux cords and the drives, the hard drives. I think it's I would say that if you can try to find yourself a dope DJ for all the MCs out there or anyone that's doing music. It's cool to do it alone, but it's something that takes it to another level when you have another professional working side by side with you. So yeah, man, for sure.
Absolutely. You know
But yeah,
that
back to what you were saying before about the cruise and all. Like,
mm-hmm.
I love all those dudes forever because of what they helped me achieve, and I'll always be down to collaborate with people that I love and respect and that I feel are worthy of me giving my energy and time and effort to a project with them. So yeah, just wanted to answer that up real quick.
Oh, absolutely. And shout out to those gentlemen as well. Vinny Paz is another one. He takes no bars off. King
Yes, sir.
Magnetic, another one, takes no
Yes, sir.
bars off. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
major
Yes, sir.
salute to those guys. Like, for me, we're gonna segue into your Majestic album, right? Now I pay attention to, like, the evolution and, like, the substance of an artist and a man, right? So, like, we could do the animal rap, bars on bars on bars on bars, but I think, like, for me, for listening to your whole catalog, Majestic was super personal, right?
Hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah.
How did you get here to this point to make
Yeah.
such a personal album?
Yeah, man. Um. Well, I think I aside from a lot of people, it confuses a lot of people, but so I have um in total I have about 12 or 13 albums,
Right.
but I only say that I only have 5 solo albums.
Right.
The other albums were collaborative efforts. I did a record with the Snow Goons. I did a record with my boy Iman. I did a record with my boy Bear One. Those were collaborative projects.
Right.
Each of my solo records, they all have a few years gap between them, and this one
Sure.
had the biggest gap. So the last solo record I dropped was A Vicious Cycle in 2008. Since
Yeah.
then, I've dropped mad music, but it was all collaborative efforts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one is me where I'm at now in 2018. It was very important for me to keep that tradition up of snapshots of where I was in life. If you listen to each of my albums, my first album, I'm 19, I'm fresh ears, I'm green, I'm trying to figure it out. Two, Invisible Empire, I'm like, the hunger is just off the charts. I could feel me getting closer. Feast or Famine is when shit really kind of popped off. A Vicious Cycle is like, in the at the height of my powers, so to speak. And then this record is me as a grown man, three kids, dealing with and looking at things differently. Some of those songs on my older music I can't even listen to because some of the things that I was saying, I just grew, bro. I grew, and it was important for me to, yeah. There's some bars on the record. There's definitely some, lyrical demon rap shit or whatever on the Majestic. But for me, it was more important for me to tell a story about where I was in my life at that time, man. And where I was as a grown man, and to make music that reflected that.
Right.
I wanted to make a record that reflected, you know, being a grown ass man. There wasn't no room for any type of, bullshit. I wanted to be as direct and succinct as I could possibly be. So that's basically how we got here, man. It's just life and being honest and wanting to tell the story of where I see my life at that moment. So
And there, a couple tracks stand out to me, and like how you said, music is soul therapy. Like that's always been my my safe haven, my saving grace, is I could create and dump all this shit onto a piece of paper and
correct.
feel lighter while doing so. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
Where'd you come up with the name? Well, I mean, you didn't come up with the word majestic, but how did you come up with the name majestic for the album?
Well, it really, really, really came from just thinking about what my life was and the people in my life. The cover is my son in the water. He's nonverbal autistic, and his favorite, we can't talk. He can't talk. He can barely say a few words. He's 10 years old, but he basically has the mental capacity of a very young child. And just that picture of him standing in the water, man, and it's just beautiful. It's majestic, and you start thinking about all the things that you've experienced and been through, even the pain, man, even the sad times, even the dark times, the fact that you survived them, that you're still here, that you're still able to love and create. I mean, it's majestic. It's beauty. It's just I see all of it all around me. And I just felt like that's the vibe of what the record was. It was just about the beauty of life, even in the hard times, finding that strength and that resolve to keep pushing forward. And I don't think there's anything more majestic than that. And I think that's why I called it that for sure.
I remember, when you rolled out the album and
Hmm.
you released the artwork, and it was a picture of your son, and me and you. This is the first time me and you are really having a rap conversation. Every time we talk about our kids,
For
our
sure.
family, and
Yeah.
like to me that's more important than any bar, any Spittin' With Spitter, any Reef the Lost Cauze. you know, but it hit me so in such a deep way. Like the love you have for your children, to see your son on the cover is just like the ultimate praise,
Yeah, man.
and
Yeah.
salute to you for that.
Yeah,
We're
man.
gonna
He's
dive.
immortalized forever, man. He's immortalized on that record forever. And like, I just got some vinyl, the vinyl record. I got it, framed. I'm gonna hang it up. Like, so he's good. He's good.
I love it. I love it. I want to dive in. There's three tracks in particular that I've had on repeat just because like they like, music affects you a certain way.
Hmm.
And when I left the gym the other day, I had messaged you like, yo, like
Yeah. Hmm.
like the song it's called the title of the track is called Manny's Song.
Hmm.
And it's about your other son. Can you explain that track, please?
Yeah, yeah. So there's a song on the record called Faith,
Mm-hmm.
that's about my struggles with the sometimes pain and frustration I feel with my dealing with my son's autism. And the flip side of that is Manny's song, which is basically a letter to him, uh, a love letter to him, telling him how much I love him, um, and that it's kind of leaving instructions for him should anything happen to me, um, and just kind of explaining that like you're going to need to be. And I hate, and I even say in the song, I hate that's something that I would even have to try to kind of put on you. You're young, and you can live your life the way you want to live it. But I'm asking you as your father to always please be there for your brother. And this song was written before he had a baby sister, which he has now. So he's in a very unique position, and I feel for him as the middle child. His brother requires so much attention. You know what I mean? His brother
Right.
requires so much attention. Now he's got this baby sister, so he's struggling, and just it's just something that I want for him to always have and to always be able to hear and know that you know I know that this is rough, and I know that this is hard, and I know that you being the middle child, the brother to you have to be the big brother to your big brother and the big brother to your little sister and who looks out for you. But it's just, I hope that it can be something that on those days where he's feeling down, that he can press play and hear it and always know that, this song I made for you when you were young, you can always turn to it and always kind of, use it as fuel and use it and know that, your father truly loves you and wants the best for you. So, I mean, that just came from the heart, man. That's one of those songs.
And that's for me probably why it's on repeat.
Yeah.
Like if you're a father and you have a son, I remember my son's 16 now, but I remember a
Hmm.
couple years back I had the conversation with him that like, hey, listen, when I'm gone, this is all
Hmm.
yours. You got to handle this. You got to protect your sister and protect your mom and everything
Hmm.
you see me doing, you have to do, and that's a
Hmm.
different like that's the bond
Yeah.
between the father and the son, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and fortunately
It's
enough,
real.
yeah, I've been blessed with like people ask me all the time, like my three best friends are my wife, my daughter, and my son. Like,
Yeah, man.
and like now I'm watching them become adults. Like my daughter is
Hmm.
18 and she's spreading her wings and figuring life out, and my son
Hmm.
is 16 and he just got his driver's permit and
Hmm.
you know uh they don't need that as much as they used to,
Right.
you know.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
is such a blessing to watch. It's very humbling, and I find myself taking joy in watching their process.
Yeah,
You know,
man. I love it. I love it, and I just think that it's what life's all about, man. You know what I mean? It's what it's all about, and especially like you said, having your family be your best friends, and that's such an important thing.
I'm super fortunate because a lot of people don't have that luxury or afforded that opportunity. You know what I mean? Like
For sure.
I got to marry my best friend, and my kids are like, for me, my kids are awesome. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
Like
Yeah, man. For sure.
let's talk about, like you had mentioned it earlier, that was the next track I was bringing up, is the track Faith, where you are pissed with God.
Hmm.
Like y'all are like,
Hmm.
listen, y'all are having the only conversation that you need some answers to.
Yeah,
You
man.
want to talk about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, that one, I had written a song um for my son when he was younger called "Talk to Me." about,
Hmm.
the autism, and it was a very kind of, solemn but uplifting song, positive song, you know.
Right.
Um, and faith is the counterpoint to that.
Right.
I'm a very yin and yang type of person, and I believe you can feel all the emotions, you can feel everything, that you need to feel and write it down. And in that moment, and in that headspace, it was just, I think it was just one of those weeks where, it was really, really bad, and he was having meltdowns, and you just see someone you love go through. um it's hard to talk about, man, even now. It's hard to talk about. Obviously I love my son more than anything, and I would die for him and do anything for him. But you get down sometimes about it. Anybody that has a special needs child, um that says that they don't have days where they just curse God and cry and break shit is lying. I don't care who you are. Seeing your especially my firstborn son, man. Like, there's just so much that I think about. As he gets older and bigger and stronger, and I know that the world outside, I can only protect him for so long, and how are we going to take care of him when we're, in our 60s? You have to think about all that shit. I saw something, bro, one time that said, most parents, they're thinking about when their kid turns, like you said, 18, 16,
Yeah.
and they get their license, or they graduate from high school, they graduate. For us, we're thinking about how we're going to fucking take care of him after we're gone. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's some shit that blows your mind. Like, you don't even, when he was little, it was like, okay, it is what it is. But I think that was me again, where I'm at. It didn't, where I was at with it in 2018, where it was like, that song "Talk to Me" that I wrote. It's on the Snow Goons album. That was a song that I wrote for, um, you know, uh, a young child dealing with autism, and I could kind of see the forest from the trees, or whatever that expression is. You know what I mean? Like, I could
Right.
see that, there was it was gonna be okay. But then years went by, and it wasn't there. Things weren't getting better, and so it was just me writing my frustration, man. It's just a really, it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. He's making strides. He's, speaking more, and he's trying. I see him trying. It's just, I would not want to put what we go through as a family and what he goes through every day. That's really what it comes down to. There's a father that wants to take all the issues and all the pain that his son feels and put it on him, but he can't. He has to watch him go through that. And to me, bro, I know how you are about your boy and your girl.
Hmm.
It's like a fucking knife to the chest,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like, and as fathers, like, I want to wear all my kids' pain. I
all of
don't.
it.
I don't want to. I don't ever want to see y'all hurt
Nope,
or struggle. You know what I
nope,
mean? At all. And that,
nope.
like you said, that is a hard pill to swallow. You
Yeah,
know.
man.
But I salute you and commend you because you stand up and you stand up every day for this. Let's talk about Frank and Jerry. Like,
Mm,
part of me, part of me wanted to be sad after I listened to it a couple
mm,
times, right? But I know what it's like to have that glue. You know what I mean?
mm,
And those family members that are that glue. You know, me transition over and meet their last days,
yeah,
and that
man.
to me, like, that filled my heart that you have that you hold. And Frank and Jerry is about your grandparents, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And
Yep.
it filled my heart to hear that song. You want to talk about that? Kenneth Ferguson chimed in saying, blessings to your heart and your family."
Thank you, Kenneth. I really appreciate that, sir. Yeah, Frank and Jerry, man. My grandfather passed away, um, 2016, 2017. And then my grandmother just passed away this year. So I wanted to. It's funny, man. Originally, that song was completely different. That song was written. originally for like their like 80th wedding anniversary, and I had written some kind of like not sappy thing about love, but like more or less like I wasn't being completely transparent because my grandparents are old school. They curse each
Right.
other out. Their love was kind of cold. You know what I mean? They weren't
Yeah.
super affectionate, and you know what I mean. But they loved each other deeply, man. And so what ended up happening is my grandfather passed away, and then about a year later, my grandmother was in a nursing home because her Alzheimer's. She already had mild Alzheimer's, but when my grandfather passed, bro, it was like poosh. She lost the love of her life. Um, so she's in the nursing home and he's dead, and family's not really getting together like they used to. Um, I just felt so disconnected from my family and still do kind of like it's never been the same. It'll never be the same, man. Their house was the hub. That's where we all met for dinners and birthday parties, and them not being here has changed a lot. And I just wanted to you know, the second verse of that song is dedicated to my family because I do miss them and I understand that, things have changed, but we're all proud of each other. Everybody's doing their thing, but it was just a love letter to my grandparents, two of the most important people in my life who, as I got older, I didn't see as much as I should have and been there as much as I should have. And you always regret that. But like you said, bro, like, they were old. They weren't like old, like young old, like 70s. They were old, like 90s. They were in their
Right.
90s. They lived beautiful lives, 6 kids. I don't know how many grandchildren and great grandchildren. Like they populated the fucking earth. You know what I'm saying? And they left behind a good crew of people that will represent that name for ages to come, man. They were just great, great people, and I'll miss them forever.
And that's what the legacy is about, right? Like
Yes, sir.
I I had uh I had made this song called Reality Check, and
Hmm.
s- neither like the glue left, you
Hmm.
know, and it's you're right, it's not the same after
Yeah,
that,
it's not. It's not,
but
man. It changes everything. Mhm.
absolutely. Listen, that was the deep segment of Spittin' With Spitter. We're not going to stay there. You just released a new track, a
Mhm.
new video, Brother Muzone, and we were talking about this before the show. I hope people get the reference. I ain't going to spoil
Yeah,
it. You
yeah,
want to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that one?
Yeah, man. So, my dear friend Hodge, Dumb Hodge of Dumb High, he and I have been friends for you know 15 years, um, and we've always been great collaborators, and it was just that time again, man. Like we hadn't worked on any new music together in a long time. And we just got the itch, and we knocked out a little quick EP. And Brother Muzone's the first video and song from it. It just has that energy, that kind of I'm back feel. It's my first project since the Majestic, so almost 2 years. So it's just good to be back in the mix, man. It's good to be, getting some new music out there. I miss the feeling, and I'm excited for people to hear it. I'm used to the old school, 14 to 16 track albums, but the way shit is out right now, people's attention spans are not that long. And honestly, I don't even think it's called. We're calling it an EP, but I mean it's 6 songs. And at this point in the game, I don't know. Most people's albums be 7 songs, 8 songs now. So we right in the right gap with it. But yeah, it's dropping on Black Friday. Pre-orders up on my Bandcamp, Reef the Lost Cause, cause spelled with a Z, at bandcamp.com. And yeah, man, like I'm just excited to be back, man.
I got that shit grin on my face because
Hmm.
to see you in the suit, I know who Brother Muzone is.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah, yeah.
mean?
You get the whole, yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm gonna
So
have to, everybody tune into YouTube, Reef the Lost Cause, cause with a Z, to check out that Brother Muzone video. It's fire, I promise you.
thank you, bro.
You are also a teacher at Beyond the Bars. Now,
Hmm.
for those that don't know what Beyond the Bars is, can you please tell them?
Absolutely. So Beyond the Bars is a program started by my brother Matthew Kerr. that basically originated as a way to bring music into prisons for uh, basically juvie juveniles awaiting trial in prison were able to use this music room, and then it expanded from that to being in, it was in one jail, then it was in two jails, then it became something more for kids that were on probation, or had social workers, and it's expanded now into just a community outreach where we take music equipment, we set up studios in different mentoring workshops and things like that, and we just teach kids about music production. I'm there more of a writer capacity, more of a motivational coach capacity, because I don't know nothing about no logic or beat, whatever shit they working on. But I'm there to help them if they want to get in the booth. I'm there to be like, nah, you need to do that take again. You need to write it like this, or how about we chop this fucking 400 bar shit you got and make it into a song. That's my role. Um, so yeah, I love it. It's one of the greatest programs in the city. It's getting more and more traction. Matt's a genius, and I think it's one of those things, man, that you know five, 10 years from now, I think it'll be not worldwide, but at least nationwide. I think it'll be nationwide soon enough, because, it's just getting so much love, because I mean, music programs don't really exist in schools anymore. Kids,
Yeah,
and these kids a lot of these kids, bro, they come in already ready to rock because they've been making beats on their phone for 2 years, or these
yeah,
kids, like, yeah, like we discredit a lot of kids thinking that they won't be interested in it. But again, we're taught time and time again that if kids have other shit to do, they'll get in less trouble. And it doesn't
right.
seem to register for the rest of the fucking the powers that be. But I've seen it. I'm a witness that a lot of these kids, that even when their social worker is like, okay, your hour is up, they're like, yo, well, when can I come back? And you know what I mean? And they schedule studio time on their own, and they bring their friends, and they're in a studio that, like, they just have an environment that, as long as they keep it respectful, long as they clean up after themselves and don't, break nothing, they can come to the studio anytime they want and learn and be taught. And it's just an incredible program. So for anybody watching, please check out beyondthebarsmusic.org. That's beyondthebarsmusic.org. It's an incredible organization that I couldn't be more honored to be a part of.
Absolutely. Chrissy Richards, who she does the Sunday night podcast Cipher Knowledge with Chrissy. She asked, how can
Yeah.
we help the program?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to Beyond the Bars or beyondthebarsmusic.org, you can check out ways to donate. You can check out ways to sign up to volunteer. You can actually email us to talk about possibly bringing a music program to your area. If you have if you're working with a community center or a volunteer program or a mentorship program, anything like that, if we're able to do it, we'll bring equipment to you, because we have laptops and mixers and all sorts of equipment. We'll set up a studio. Like, we are on the move. So the best way to help us is just check out the website and let us know how we can help you, and in turn, that's how you help us. So yeah, thank you for asking that.
Absolutely love it. How like more of a personal question. Chrissy just chimed in. She said, "My brain is storming." And shout
Nice.
out
That's what
to
I like to
Chrissy.
hear.
She helps everybody that she possibly can. She has
I
such
love
a
it.
great spirit and genuine soul. And not only that, she's family. So there's that.
Respect,
You
respect,
know?
respect.
Can we talk about how COVID has been for you and your mental health?
Yeah. Man, it's been I feel for my kids.
Right.
Again, back to that, taking the pain away. We as the men of the house, like, we gotta kind of be trying to keep this shit together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And my lady, she works and she hustles, and I'm working and I'm hustling, and the kids are running around, and it's been a lot, man. But I feel like it's brought us closer together. And again, as we talked about off camera, there are people that are losing everything, and
Yeah.
keep I try to remind myself that, yo, the lights are still on, there's still food in the fridge, the kids are safe, nobody's been sick. You know, all my family is still alive and healthy. Um, shit, look at that. I said ain't nobody been sick. Here I go start sneezing and
Sneeze.
shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, like we've been blessed because, you know, like I said before off camera with you, people started this year with a job and a house and a healthy family, and some of them ain't got none of that now. So
Right.
it's been hard, bro. It's been difficult, but again, I just try to keep the fact that, you know, we are not experiencing what a lot of America is experiencing right now. I saw some footage the other day of, you know, people waiting in line and for hours at food banks and things like that. And it's just like, if you're not in that situation,
Yeah.
you know, you got to be thankful. That's not to say that depression isn't real, missing the world outside isn't real, missing your friends and your family and your normal life. Of course, I'm not saying that. It has fucked me up too. It's fucked all of us up. This is some shit that we're gonna have PTSD from for a while. Um, and it's not even over. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to speak about it in the past tense. But like I said, what I will say, the thing that keeps me going is the fact that my family's not sick and that we're still able to survive in these times, because for a lot of fucking people that is not the case. So
Right.
yeah.
And I stress all the time, like, I talk to people every day, whether it's on a mentorship or advice or whatever, and like people ask me how I do, and I said I woke up today, and that's the first blessing. A lot of people aren't afforded with that opportunity, and I think
Yeah,
perspective
man.
has a lot to do with it. Like, I'm
Absolutely.
fortunate enough to go to work every day. You know what I mean? Most people have lost their jobs.
Yeah, man.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lights are on, the fridge is full, and we're good.
Listen, man, if you got that, if you got at least that, like you said, you woke up this morning, your
Hmm.
lights are still working, you were able to feed yourself and your family. Like, I mean, unfortunately, that is, you know, doing well in 2020. That's doing very
Yeah,
well in 2020. It's true.
yeah,
Like, it used
absolutely.
to be like, oh, I don't have the bigger house, I don't have the nicer car, I don't have, it's like, yo, there are people that, you know, don't, they're losing everything left and right, man. And
Right.
I'm just thankful that we're not, knock on wood, because it could be tomorrow, you know, like, but
Yeah,
for today, when I lay my head down tonight, um, we're not in that position, and I pray that we stay that way. More so than anything, um, you know, it's about my people's health and being healthy. That's the most important thing. Everybody's healthy, so
absolutely, absolutely. Now listen, we're coming to the end of the show because I like to keep it an hour. A, B, I work third shift, so I got to take my ass to work.
yeah, man.
I got two more questions for you before we're gonna split, and it's gonna get a little spicy.
All right, let's go.
Top 5 artists in Philly.
Woo! Rap artist?
Yes, please.
Ooh, you about to start
Let's
some
not
shit,
affect.
huh?
Let's not affect your political connects.
Yeah, nah, nah, nah. So at 5, I will put um, I'll put Free at 5. Um, 4, I'm gonna give, even though can it be the tri-state? It has to be Philly, because Screw
No,
Tape
yeah,
is
it could be
South
the trade.
Jersey. All right, so I put 4. I put Screw Tape at 4 because Screw Tape's South Jersey, but it's close enough to Philly. I'll
He's an
put Screw
animal
Tape
as
at
well.
4. I love Screw, man. I love Screw. 3, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put, this is all time, right? Or it's currently
Whenever, all time's fine.
all time. Then I'm gonna go Beans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at 3. 2, The Last Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know about him, but he's one of the greatest MCs of all time, and he's from Philadelphia. And number 1, I mean, it's got to be Black Thought, man. You know, it's got to be Black Thought. I mean, there's nobody like, you know,
At
and I say
some
that with.
point,
Mhm.
at some point, not to cut you off, we need to have a different tier level for the Black Thoughts of the world and the Andre 3000s and the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. Thought's a whole different and it's inspiring because there wasn't a time where at least when I was coming up, and still even it's only really only been the last couple of years where people are finally being like, okay, this guy should be in the GOAT conversation. You know what I mean? But he's been in the GOAT conversation for Philly forever. We've
absolutely.
known. So there's a lot of pride there in knowing that people outside of Philly, all over the planet are finally saying like, yo, one of the greatest rappers of all time is from Philadelphia. So for sure.
Hey, like I don't understand how he hasn't been in the GOAT talk for some time.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean? Like,
I think he's just been on a run the last couple of years that's kind of made it undeniable. So
yeah, streams of thought 1, 2, and 3 are different for
yes,
sure.
yes.
My favorite song of all time, and this is probably gonna bring out the soft side of me, is The Roots You Got Me with Erica Badu.
Beautiful song.
You
Incredible
know what I
song.
mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah, incredible song. That album, Things Fall Apart, is one of my all-time favorite rap records. Things Fall Apart is an amazing, amazing album. So yeah,
Oh,
shout out to them.
excellent body of work front to back, man.
Absolutely.
Top 5 artists of all time.
Just rap or period?
Period.
Period. So wow, that's tough. I'm gonna throw names out there. So I'm gonna do 3 rap, 2 non-rap.
Go ahead.
So number 5, I'll say Marvin Gaye. 4, I'll say Nina Simone.
Mm.
3, I'll say Nas. 2, I will say Stevie Wonder. And number 1, my all-time favorite artist of all time is Prince. There's nobody greater than Prince. Prince is the greatest musician, artist, whatever you
Entertainer.
want to call it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Prince. Prince. Prince.
I'm not mad at that, Reef. And one
Mhm.
thing I like to do before I let you go, is there anything that you want to ask me before we get out of here? Any
Hey
questions you
man,
got for me?
hey man, I just want to know, like, what can we expect some new music from you soon?
Hey, yo, everybody asked me the same question, man. Yeah, man. The pen is going again. I'm collecting beats again, and yeah, like you said, like the last time I put out a project was 5 years ago,
Okay.
and so from 35 to 40, as a man, things have changed in my life. You know, my kids have gotten older.
hmm
Um,
hmm
you know, we've purchased our first home together. Like things have evolved, and so my
Straight up.
rhymes have to evolve. You know,
Of
DJ
course.
Cap C chiming in saying, "What up, Reef?"
Yo, Cap C. Yo, the man. Cap C hooked me and GQ up with a fucking rap battle like 10 years ago. Nems was in it. Super Nat was not even 10 years. Man, that shit might be 15. Yeah, like 15 years ago. But Nems was in the battle. Super Nat was one of the hosts. It was a wild night. But long story short, it was $1,000 pay. And he was like, he got me and GQ in the battle. He was like, yeah, one of y'all win, just slide me 100. And I was like, all right, bet. That's a bet. So we go up there to New York. I end up winning it. And um, I texted him that night. I was like, yo, Cap, I won. He was like, get the fuck out of here. He couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, man, like, I got you, dog. I got you. So the reason I tell that story is because my new record coming out Black Friday, the airing of grievances, pre-order now, Reef the Lost Cauze.bandcamp.com. My producer, he took footage, audio from that battle and put it on the record.
Mm.
It connects to another song. So the fact that Cap C just chimed in, that made me smile because I just was listening to that shit 20 minutes before we started the interview. So yeah,
Cap,
it all
Cap,
connects. It all connects.
Cap C said
It all
end of the week.
connects. It actually wasn't an end of the week battle, Cap. It was like some it was some other shit. I'll have to I'll find the battle footage and I'll hit you up on the interwebs. Yeah, yeah. It was a good time though.
Cap, we still trying to get you on, big fella. We still trying to get you on Spittin' with Spitter, Cap C. You one of the
Yeah.
gatekeepers out here for this.
It's a legend right there, man. Cap always looked out, man.
Oh
That's a
man.
real dude right there. Like he never fronted on none of us, man. And
Nah,
I
another
hope you give him
genuine.
his flowers. Yeah, give him
Yeah,
his flowers for sure. For sure.
absolutely. Absolutely. Reef, man, again, thank you for
Yeah.
coming on.
Anytime, bro.
We're gonna have to do a round two. Maybe when I drop my project, I'll send it to you first, and then you can interview me.
I got you, man. I got you. Thanks to anybody listening. Like I said, follow me at Lost Cauze on all the socials. Reef the Lost Cauze on Facebook, Reef the Lost Cauze on Bandcamp. And look out for that airing of grievances. Dropping on Black Friday. Check out the new video, Brother Muzone, on YouTube. TJ, appreciate you, brother. And anything you need, man, just holler at me, all right?
Major salute, Reef. Thank you again for coming on. Have a good night, my brother.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror, I need a break. Stress weighs on my soul until it starts to ache. Time pass on these past